Alrighty, and we are live. My name is Isaac. I am the co-founder of Pet Summits and the host of the Pet Care Report. The mission of this show is to connect pet parents with the world's leading pet experts and brands to discover the latest trends, innovations, and essential products for optimal pet care. Today's live episode, we're very excited to have a very special guest. Today is the founder of Spleash and Tail Chasers, Kerry Cooke. Kerry is an entrepreneur, industry innovator, mother, animal lover, and creator of Spleash and Tail Chasers. Tail Chasers is a small family business, still in its puppy stage. Kerry and Catherine, her daughter, are a mother and daughter duo, bringing innovation, creativity, and everything to everything they do. They came up with the idea Spleash and Tail Chasers on an actual dog walk together. They're three four-legged family members. Their outcome, working together with people and pets to deliver unprecedented savvy products that make lives easier. Oh, I got that out. Welcome, Kerry.
Thanks, Isaac. I appreciate it. I'm really happy to be here on the Pet Care Report with you.
Thank you for coming. I think we first connected maybe nearly 12 months ago, and you were just kind of like in your really infancy stages. And like, as we're talking off air, there's been a few things going up and down, but you guys are coming through fruition, and it's, your website's looking absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been a process. I mean, it's really interesting to be sort of here today and think back at the last few years of different places along the journey where I first thought of the idea, and then to see everything that I've done in between now and then. It's wild. We were just talking back offline about how it is to be a small business owner in the middle of these trying times and keeping everything in perspective. Often we take a couple steps forward and we're all excited about it, and then that things come up that you didn't plan on and you get pushed back a little bit. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and you just keep making that little shimmy down the road to success. But if you're determined enough, like we are, we're gonna get there. So
yeah, and you're people out there that don't know, you also work full time. You got 4 dogs in the house at the moment, well, 5 dogs in the house at the moment. So and you run a full-time business on the side. So that's truly inspiring for people out there that are wanting to start their own business. Mm-hmm. I guess when you were talking about when you thought about creating the idea, how did that come about? And what was the reason behind that?
It was really that age-old need. What does it need is the mother of all invention, something like that. I think I'm getting it wrong, but necessity is the mother of all invention. And we adopted this beautiful black lab Weimaraner mix puppy that we named Lola. She's jet black, boundless energy, like could jump 7 feet from a standstill, no problem, and needed a lot of exercise. We live in Southern California, and it's usually hot. Even in the winter, it's never really that cold here. So in midday, you really should bring water on your walk if you have a black dog. Certainly any dog, but in particular a black dog. And I would get a few blocks away from the house, never failed. I'm like, oh, I forgot the water again. And, traipse back home, get the water. And one day I had one of the squeezy water with the bowl on the top, which I thought was a great invention and what did make my life easier, but I kept forgetting it. And then one day when I did have it on a walk and it was really warm out and we were sitting in the shade and I'm trying to cool her down, I squeezed water up into the bowl and just sort of tossed it on her. Okay, well, what if we could direct this water a little bit easier with like a squirt gun? I marched home and started Googling, and I thought, I looked on Amazon first. I'm sure there's a product for dogs, for leashes, that has a spray bottle. attached somehow, and I didn't find anything, and I kept looking, and I was like 20, 30 pages deep on Amazon, 20, 30 pages deep on Google. And I thought, well, this can't be. I didn't just think something new, did I? And I kept looking and talking with people. And would you think it would be interesting if you could, maybe spray water on your neighbor's lawn where your little dog just did a tinkle, clean it up for them so it doesn't burn the grass as much, clean your hands off, clean their paws off, cool yourself down. There's so many uses for the spray gun feature, in particular, protecting your dog from off-leash dogs, which is a common occurrence around our neighborhood. There'll be, in particular during the pandemic, people hanging out in their front yard. Their dog is off leash because they're at home, and you're walking by on your walk and they come running over and they're like, oh, my dog's friendly. Okay. My dog, unfortunately, is a bit dog aggressive, and we've tried training and everything to no avail. So we need to keep them separate from that oncoming dog. And if you just give them a quick squirt, they usually, especially the ones that they say, oh, they're friendly, they get freaked out, turn around and go home. Thing just spit at me and I don't want anything to do with it. So yeah, that's a long story of how Spleash came to be.
No, do you have it on you right now?
Yeah. This is Spleash. This is attached actually on a leash right now. But the important thing to keep in mind when you order Spleash is that it doesn't come with a leash. My key thing that I wanted when we were ideating about this product, I loved the leash that I had. I didn't want to make people buy a new leash. I wanted something that would fit on most people's leashes. So this little device right here is called a cam. Get it lined up on the camera. It has a groove that as it goes around, it gets bigger and then smaller, so that if a rope leash is on there, it will not go all the way through. It gets to a point and it gets stuck. Flat leashes, same thing. This is off center, so as the leash goes around, so you put the leash around it, and you can put it on the loop end of the leash or anywhere along. If you are walking in a densely populated area and you need a really short leash, you can put that leash on at the very top, or sorry, closer to the dog, so that it's as short as possible. And then you pinch these two little things on the side and it clicks in. You hear that click. These little buttons become flesh on either side of the Spleash, so that it's in, and it's the end of your leash now.
There you go.
Yeah, you put water in right here. So it holds 12 ounces of fresh water, and you can pull the thing all the way out or just put it all the way in.
How many liters or mils is that? 12 ounces? Is that like a cup or?
It's like a full can of soda. That's
full can of soda. Okay.
12 ounces. So like that's a full, bottle of water, a can of soda.
Yeah.
That's the amount that it fits in there. And so it holds that 12 ounces of water, and then so it sprays. So here's the trigger. And as I mentioned, if you're dealing with off-leash dogs that are a problem, or you're going to the dog park and there's a fight that breaks out, you're ready at the end of your leash, give it a quick pew, 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 and you can break up a fight. You can give somebody enough time to, pick up their dog and change directions if you have a littler dog. And it also allows you the flexibility to only fill it up halfway if you have a small dog. So it's not, you don't need as much water for a really small dog as you do for a bigger one. But we feel like it gives people enough water to have a nice hike, a nice time out in nature, still leave you enough to spray if you have to spray away, crazy goose that's coming up at you, or another animal that away from your dog.
I guess I hope in the future you also put a light on there. Like the amount of times I take my dog out to go for a poo in the morning, and then I'm like, ah, damn it,
Yeah.
I can't see. I forgot my phones. I need to switch on the light. And it's like,
Yes,
so yeah,
that's
that
in the works. We will have a light soon, and
amazing.
other products that we have in mind. We just really want to get Spleash up and running and out to the world, to everybody, so they can, walk, protect, and refresh their dog on the go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess like, and you may have already kind of covered it. Like, how is Spleash, different than anything else on the market?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference, as I mentioned, is that it doesn't come with a leash.
Yeah,
So meant to be used with your standard rope, and it does work with rope, leather, nylon leashes. It will not attach to those really giant, thick cotton leashes that are sort of trendy or have been in the past year or so. Um, those are just too big in diameter, but they do fit most standard size leashes. And a lot of times when people first see it, their first instinct is, I don't use retractable leashes. I'm like, okay, great, because it doesn't have a leash and it's not retractable. So um, that's a big differentiator. But this is really the big part, I think, that's really nice, is you can do this one-handed on a walk. So you get the little cup up like this, and then a quick flip, you open it and squirt water in, 5 or 6 squirts, depending on the size of the dog, maybe a few more if it's a really, hot day and they need a bit more. And you just give them a sip. And if they didn't drink it all, you just dump out whatever you squirted out and you're off again. You didn't have to hold the water bottle, hold the bowl. You don't have to unscrew the thing. And the whole time the dog's pulling on the leash, that happens. Like, this is real life when you're out on a walk. Things that they're seeing, right, and dealing with, that they pulls their attention away, so they start walking off, and you're holding the leash and the water is going on the ground. So this is really
yeah,
one-handed watering solution that's really fast and easy, and you
yeah.
spray them with it. So when they step in something that they shouldn't, you can spray off their paws right there and get it off. And when it's really hot, you can spray their paws to cool them down. Spray their chest, which is a really good way to help them relieve some of the heat, because they,
Mm,
relieve the heat through evaporation, and that really helps. So, and then, it is all FDA approved food grade for humans. So you could, squirt it in your mouth and squirt you in the back of the neck when it's hot out. So it's a pretty good multi-purpose tool, I think.
I've got he's 7 months now, 7 months Frenchie, and he's black, and I
Adventure
like
too.
it's so much. Like, doesn't even have to be that hot, and he really feels it. So it's winter here now in Australia, so like I can take him for a walk out at lunchtime, which is great. But yeah, fortunately we live by the beach, so it's not too bad. There's lots of places for him to cool down, but even just a short walk, having that little, and I'm always forgetting something. So like, but I never forget the lead though. So
Yeah, right.
having everything there in the one spot is such a great idea.
Yeah, and I like
And
this too, because you can, after you come back from your walk, you want to empty it. So you pull the plug, and I usually just leave it sitting in the sink like this till it empties, and then you can just hang it on whatever hook you have. It dries out. Leave the plug open, let it dry out overnight, and then you're going for your walk. You're going to take your leash, so you just fill it up again, and out
I
you go.
love,
You're less likely to forget the water when it's actually on the handle.
yeah, exactly. And so, what's so special about Splash's mission?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking about that, because it's really core to, our whole adventure in doing this. My daughter and I, when we came up with the idea and decided to go for it and make this company, and we really wanted to have a positive impact. Not only, yes, we're helping the pet parent have easier, cleaner, nicer, refreshing walk. That's great. But we really wanted to pay it back in a certain way. We received some tremendous support from a therapy dog that helped my daughter and I through some really dark times for us personally. And this group is doing something that I think is so valuable for so many people, but because we personally benefited and saw firsthand how therapy dogs can help assist people in really stressful situations. So we had to testify in court, and it was very emotionally charged, and my daughter was only 11 at the time. And so to have her attention and focus go on that beautiful dog that looked a lot like the dog we had at home anyway, it was so touching and, a relief for me as a mom to see her focusing more on the dog and less on the drama that was happening around her. We wanted to make sure that other people would have access to that type of support going through those difficult times. And so we partnered with petpartners.org, and we're committed to funding more therapy dog teams every year. We pay for the certification process to get the therapy dog certified. And this year we've been able to, with partner matching, fund 4 therapy dog teams. So the more we sell every year, the more we can donate and fund more teams. And we're doing it all in the name of this very beautiful person who lost her life, sadly, and was the reason why we had to go on this whole emotional courtroom, situation. So we feel that in honor of her memory and really to just keep positive, outcome from a very horrible negative thing, we wanted to contribute in this way. So it's very near and dear to our hearts.
Wow, that's really, give it.
Yeah.
Someone cutting some onions, I think.
Yeah.
That's our animals are truly amazing, and there's a company in Australia, and I forget the name of it. I'll put the link to Pet Partners org up there, because what you're doing is such a great thing. And there's a company in Australia who breeds dogs and I'm sure there's many of them, but they breed dogs specifically to help people with autism and PSTD, and that's what these dogs. And I've got a little cousin who has autism, and how they're able to calm down and sense things way before us. And animals
they're miraculous.
They're truly amazing, aren't they? So that's such a great thing that you're doing. And if there's hopefully more people, and we'll put this in our Facebook as well, petpartners.org, so people can find out a little bit more about them. The other thing, what else will Tail Chasers be coming out with in the future, other than the little light that I mentioned?
The light. So I do have an idea for a new toy that I think it's one that I've used with my dogs. It's sort of a sort of augmented something on the market to be a little bit more interactive for our dogs. And they each have their own method. The 3 dogs that I have personally have their own method for getting treats out of this thing. And it's so engaging, and it keeps them busy. For like the one little dog, Coco, that I have, she's a Chihuahua. She just will play with this toy hours trying to get the treat out. And I just haven't seen anything on the market that is shaped the same, that has the same level of difficulty. It's not too hard, it's not too easy, and I think that'll be a really fun thing. So we're looking forward to getting that out, along with the light, as I mentioned. And we have a couple other things that are in the works. We're hopefully we'll be adding a leash to the site, just for those people who are interested in purchasing a leash at the same time. But it's ocean recycled plastic, so it's environment. You know, if you're using a Spleash, you're already taking care of not, using too many disposable bottles. So that's great. So let's take it up a notch and make those disposable bottles leashes too, so they don't.
Yeah, wow. So they're made out of disposable bottles.
Well, it's made out of ocean-bound plastic that has been recovered and then turned into leash. So
yeah, wow, that's amazing.
To getting that up. So hopefully we'll have that in the next few weeks available on the website. So
yeah, wow, that's such a cool idea. You're just a bundle of ideas. So I'm just going to put this up here now for people that want to know, and we're going to link this into the Facebook group, and this will sit on our YouTube channel. This is how people can find out more about and go over the purchase. Is there anything else exciting or that you want the audience to know about?
Well, if you're local in San Diego, we're doing a big event this weekend called Barks and Brew Fest, which is going to be a really exciting, thousands of people and thousands of dogs apparently coming to the harbor area in San Diego. And there'll be bands and microbreweries and breweries. And I mean, who doesn't like a good beer and some dogs? So I think that'll be fun. And then we'll be at Super Zoo in August. So we're looking forward to, meeting lots of people in real life that we've talked to over the years so far on Clubhouse or in, various different networking groups. So if you're going to be at Super Zoo, look us up.
Oh, amazing. I spoke to one of the founders from Herbalife, Paul, Michael, and he said Super Zoo was absolutely amazing for them. So I think I hope it does the same results for you guys, because there's just so many people, not only just people, pet parents, but industry as well, for your product. It's such a great product, and the cause behind it, that what you guys are trying to do and what you're donating and who you're helping, as well as what you like. There's something I never thought about, because I've got like a little Frenchie. He doesn't, loves everybody, but there's been a couple of times when there's been a couple of dogs that run charged at him because he wants to just play with everybody. Just the little squirt, squirting of the water. It's
it really comes in very handy. And it's one of those things like, oh, well, it may not be that hot today, I won't take the Spleash. No, that doesn't cross my mind ever, because you just never know when that situation's going to come up. Actually, this morning when we were walking our dogs, and we had our neighbor dogs too. So we were a pack walk. It was my daughter with 2 dogs in front and me with 3 dogs in back, and 2 of them are Chihuahuas. So it's, not that hard, but
yeah.
We were coming around a couple of shops, and there was a father and daughter sitting having yogurt at one of them. And we were rounding the corner. And as I mentioned, my dog Lola, she's a bit dog aggressive. And we thought we were just turning a corner with just 2 people sitting. They, the people wanted to pet the dogs and were starting to reach out. And then their dog, who happened to be a little black Frenchie, popped out from under the table and startled Lola. And of course that didn't go well. And, her hackles go up, her teeth, she's, I had to speak her. So I was standing behind her, and she was, coming back facing me, and the Frenchie popped out sort of right in front of me down below, and Lola was coming this way. And I just, I had it on my leash and it was right at her, and I had to spleash her in the face, just snap out of it. That's not polite behavior, stop.
Yeah.
Worked like a charm. She stopped. She just started walking forward, ignored the dog, and, everything was fine. But that could have turned out much differently. If we didn't have the squirt, would she have continued in her launch forward to the Frenchie? Would the Frenchie have not backed up if a little bit of the water spray, sort of came out at him and he retreated back under the table? But it's those times when you don't know that this situation is going to pop up, and because you're literally holding your leash like this and your hand is on the trigger,
It's on the trigger. It's trigger ready.
right? You are ready to go. So when that surprise thing happens, whether it's a coyote, that pops out and you're walking your little dogs, you have something. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to save your dog from a wild attack of, a crazy wild animal. However, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, we got snakes here, so that's we don't have any coyotes. Maybe dingoes, but that's out in the middle of nowhere. So, well, Kerry, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to connect with you again. We hope that your business continues to thrive. You're doing so many great things. Kind of a bit of a superwoman you are. So, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much again for speaking to the audience today, and we'll have the links to your site. And yeah, thank you for everything that you're doing for the pet community.
Absolutely. I'm super happy. I'm very fortunate to be able to do all of this stuff, and I'm really appreciate all the support from you and the Pet Care Report and Pet Summits, and look forward to meeting you in real life at some point. And thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to spleash your leash.
Thank you, guys.